Oh, good morning. Good morning. Day 3, Chill Yin. Are we ready? We're gonna just dive in. All right. So for anybody that doesn't understand or hasn't done yin, it's a very we hold stretches for 3 minutes or longer. So since we're doing more like a half an hour class on this little challenge, we won't be doing a ton of shapes. The first one is going to be intense, so I'm kind of starting us off with maybe a little bit more of a high intensity stretch, and then we'll make our way to the floor and do those longer stretches and holds on the floor. One way to look at it is, a difference between a Swedish massage and a deep tissue massage is the way that I look at it. So we're going to actually start standing up. If you have a bolster, first off, these things are incredible. I know they're so simple. So I consider them a very good investment. Have this bolster available for when we come out of this shape. So have it near you. And then if you have blocks, great. I'm going to use a block. So I'm going to put it here at the top of my mat, and we're going to stand up and do a forward fold as a long hold, okay? Um, so let's go ahead and find that shape and that alignment. Take it nice and easy. Look at your feet, right? We want our feet hip width apart. Have a little bend, right? And then we're going to hinge at those hips, and we're just going to fold over the body, okay? So I have this block here for me to rest my hands. Have those legs as bent as you need. We're going to start that timer, and we're going to connect in our breath here. So relaxing the neck. Ooh, things are going to feel really tight. So we go so gentle, and we use that breath to keep softening and deepening into the stretch. Our feet are pretty grounded, right? See if we can create a little arch in the feet. Relax the head and neck. And then let's see if we can connect that deep breathing in and out through the nose. This is a deep stretch on the whole back of our body. Just breathing into it. Bring a belly in a little bit. Try to release a little more. This is a lot of blood to the head, so there's no popping up here. We're not even going to stand up after this. So just being really gentle, noticing the breath, deepening the breath. Relax the head. For me, I like to turn the head left and right. Oh, shake it out. If you feel solid in your legs where you can release your hands and add a bind, this can be great for the neck where you take if this is available, you're interlacing the fingers behind your back, shoulders away from the ears, and then come up and over. Oh, you can also flirt with the neck here. So sometimes I like to go up, little flexion, just see what feels good. Bring the shoulders away from the ears as the hands come up overhead. For those that are doing the bind, ooh, gently release. We got about 5 more deep breaths here. You're doing great. Let's see if we can concentrate that breathing. Relax the jaw, relax the eyes. Breathe into it. Maybe you can straighten the legs a little more. Just notice. One more full breath. Nice. Slowly bend the legs, bringing one knee. Be mindful of your head, right? Because all that blood. So take it nice and easy. One knee and then the other knee. We're going to move into a child's pose, either with or without the bolster. The bolster adds a little extra neutrality to the spine. Be mindful of your back, even in tabletop. And then when you're ready, come into a child's pose, either with or without the bolster. Okay? And let's just breathe here. Try to soften into it. Oh, and breathe. Staying with the breath. I'm going to also show without the bolster, just for my friends that don't have it. It's also a deeper stretch. So for me, going to the bolster was like a nice entryway then to a deeper child's pose, because this then becomes also a nice yin stretch. I'm trying to relax your hips and pelvis to the floor. If your head is turned in one direction, let's turn it to the opposite direction. Breathe here. And just noticing the breath. Noticing the sounds in your space. And let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Letting it go, not exhale. And then we're going to slowly come on up, but we're going to move down to our belly. So coming out of that flexion of the knees, take it easy. As I like to mention, I do like to just give a little extension in the knees, right? I'm all about those counter moves, balance, at least in yoga. All right, let's come down to our belly, nice and easy. Oh, all right, coming into Sphinx pose. Now, classic in the middle is elbows against the chest, 90 degrees, shoulders are back, your booty's relaxed, right? It's our biggest muscle. But for yin, we really try to soften the muscle so that eustress can move past the superficial muscles and go a little deeper. So keep those glutes relaxed, shoulders down and chin up. If this feels too intense, right, where it's like too much of a pressure on the back, you can modify by coming down to the earth and just using your little hands as a pillow. So there is still some degree in the spine as you place your head on your hands. Additionally, if you're here and you're like, ooh, I want to go deeper, you can always press into a seal pose, straightening the arms. And for the last minute, the last 10 deep breaths, I'll invite us to go deeper. So you can always get that final hit there. So let's see if we can settle in, or I can settle in. And soften into the breath. Feel your pelvis. See if we can concentrate that breathing in and out through the nose. And just kind of noticing the mind, right? Where's our head going? And not judging. Like, I really understand the way that I understand it is this concept of like, don't have any thoughts is kind of insane. How many thoughts move through our mind that we didn't ask to move through our mind? They just happen. So there's no judgment. If anything, we could be curious, right? Like, what the hell am I thinking? It's usually pretty funny. And just breathing here. All right, we're on our last minute. So for those that want to go a little bit more intense, you can straighten the arms. It'll be 10 full breaths. I think for me, I'm going to stay right where I am and breathe here. You can even work on a little bit of this lengthening through the navel all the way up to the nose, towards the sky. Breathing here. Last full breath here. And then exhale, and we'll just slowly lower down. Just a little respite. And we did this yesterday. So right arm up, right knee up, look to the right. See if we can spread that pelvis towards the earth. And just taking a few breaths here, let it soften. Think about your big femur bone, right? See if you can soften it in the joint, the hip joint. Feel the earth just holding us. Good. On your next exhale, slowly bringing that right leg down. Otro lado, switching sides. Left leg up, right arm down, left arm up. And then try to spread the pelvis. Nothing aggressive, just this is more of a resting counter stretch here. And breathe. Nice work, everybody. Gently bring that left leg down, and we're just gonna roll on to our back. Nice and easy. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, for my friends that have props, this, I'm not going to do the full thing just because of time wise, but you can if you want. So I like to have the block here when I'm doing knees to chest. And then for those that have it, you can take a strap and kind of bind yourself and then put a bolster on top, which adds just this little bit of pressure. It's very sweet. Um, but for me today, I'm just going to have the block. If you don't have any props, you can just do knees to chest. Okay, so wherever it's at. And then think about your hip flexors, right? Which is connecting pelvis to thigh. And see if you can soften there because we have this compression going on. Feel the spine completely flat. And then, You can wrap your arms around the front of your legs. Shoulders are away from the ears. Hold here. And just noticing the sounds in the space. Noticing the breath. With every exhale, see if there's just a little more space to flatten the spine on the floor and bring the knees a little closer. Bring the shoulders a little further away from the ears. Relaxing the jaw. One more breath. For my friends who decided to do the strap, so if you're all bound, you can keep it bound and just remove whatever weight you put on the shins. For everybody else, you don't have to have a block. You can be free or you can keep the block. We're just going to move into a supine twist or a spinal twist on our back. So we're just going to allow the knees to fall to the right. Go slow, engage the core. Don't flail, right? So be really mindful, control it, and allow the knees to fall to the right. And then we're going to gently turn our head and then really try to melt this whole area. You can even grab that outer left thigh, extend that right arm up, just get a little extra stretch across the body. Oh, and settling in and breathing here. I'm just kind of noticing the mind. And see if we can bring that attention to those legs and softening them a little more. So releasing the shoulders towards the earth. To feeling the breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. I'm still getting over my sickness, so that beautiful cough is going to show up. I don't want to startle anybody. Excuse me. Let's take 4 more deep breaths on this side. Beautiful, everybody. So again, let's be mindful in this transition. Most injuries, by the way, BTW, happen in transitions in practice. So sometimes, like low key, I'll even lift my legs, like use my upper body strength. But the core is engaged as we bring the unit of the legs towards the center. And then just give yourself a little massage here, right? A little love. And then we're going to switch sides. Nice and easy. Core engaged. Use whatever you need to make it slow and intentional and safe. And then if it's available, look in the opposite direction. Let's think about really softening that outer hip and thigh and releasing that low back and the abductor. And then breathe. I love the reminder that, like, right now I'm okay. Right now, body supported by floor, breathing. Softening the jaw, deepening the breath, relaxing the legs. Five more deep, full breaths here. Last full breath. And then bring the head center, core engaged, help the legs and the unit if you need. For my friends that have the bind, go ahead and remove strap. And we're gonna take this block. I'm gonna invite us to supported bridge. Bridge can be done without this. You can also stay flat on the floor. But supported bridge gives it a little bit more juiciness of restoration. So here's the deal. Feet are hip width apart and my feet are under my knees. I'm going to slide this block and it's like a quarter of an inch north or south makes all the difference. So it's really, do not have it in the lumbar. That's the curve in our back. So it's in the lower back. So right above the glutes, really. So it's like lifting the pelvis up, slide your block under. And it's like, it should feel when you find that perfect spot in the low back, it should feel like a Ah, like so good. For my friends that know, you can flip that block to go really high and deep into this back bend. You also, if it's available, you can extend your legs straight out in front of you and really kind of open up the front of the body if that feels good to you. Be gentle. This is a back bend, even though it's supported. So find the shape here. And remember, just little adjustments make a huge difference. Shoulders relaxed, face relaxed. That last minute, we'll turn it into a little bit of an inversion. So just soften and breathe. Invitation to soften the jaw. Allow the tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth. We want to be mindful anytime you're in bridge, whether supported or not, the neck is actually very vulnerable. So don't do any, you can move a little bit, but the most safe, aligned version with your neck is to have it neutral and keep it neutral. So straight. See if we can release the low back into the block. Breathing in, breathing out. If you want, you can stay right where you are or find another variation. For those that want to do a little inversion, I like to have my hands down by my side or maybe even grab on the mat, but you can extend the legs up and this really moves the blood. It's kind of like doing a shoulder stand, but without that work or danger. Maybe vulnerability is a better word. Breathe here. Feel free to move, right? Like sometimes I like to just move the legs. So always that sweet invitation just to explore your body. You are the one, right? You're the one living in it in the full experience. So you are your teacher. Breathe in here. Three more breaths. On that exhale, if your legs are up towards the ceiling or extended out, let's slowly bring them back to the earth. Feet are back on the floor. You're going to lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling and slide that block out. And then I like to do like a little hammock or a leaf falling off a tree. Just It kind of softens the hips. Slowly come on down to the earth. Good. Release. Couple pelvic tilts, right? So legs are bent, right? You feel that natural arch. When I tip my pelvis towards the ceiling, it flattens. When I release and press it towards the earth, it increases that arch. So just give a little massage on that sweet back. And then, if you can believe it, it's time for Shavasana. So I would invite you to pick whatever sweet back focused Shavasana or classic. Because it's such a short class, we don't spend a ton of time, but I like a little bolster under the knees, arms spread out. So just do whatever you need to complete your practice and find your Shavasana, softening the face, noticing how the body feels. Noticing the sounds in our space. And just slowly coming back into the body. Noticing the sounds in your space. And maybe you have a cat who's nearby, showing you love. I like to give myself a full body stretch. So always finding what feels good, following your intuition, gently pushing ourselves up. Oh, goodness. And finding my glasses. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for joining the Yin this morning and getting in that little bit of stretch this morning or whenever you end up watching this class. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and a good weekend. And so much love, you all. Thanks. Bye.